Hello, how's it going? And we're still here in the study, the trophy room, the gentleman's, what would you call this room?
The smoking room.
The smoking room.
Smoke,
I figure you don't
imagine.
smoke. You're such a good guy. It's been a real honor to have Stuart in my midst. We've never spent any time together.
We've
I don't
met.
think. Okay, it feels like we've known each other for years, but I'm super excited that you agreed to do this. Stuart was one that I really wanted to have here because it's kind of like saving you for the right moment, because I follow Stuart on Instagram like I'm sure a lot of you do. Your cases are just absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
You may not know this, but I was at the 2014 Damon Forum you probably know it because I wrote it on here, but you didn't know it before I wrote it on here. But it was in, Phoenix, I guess,
Yeah.
and I was just 6 months into my practice. So total noob. Anna came with me, and Roy Scolding, if you're out there, thank you, Roy, for taking me and whining and dining. Great guy. But I learned so much at that meeting, and I was still just trying to figure it all out. Like, what braces am I going to use? I remember I went to a bracket placement thing. Now I would totally skip that. You know, I'm jaded. I need to lean into my weaknesses. But I remember showing it to the doctor and be like, how are these? You know, may have even been you. I don't know. But they were like, those are fine. You know, I don't know. But I learned a lot. And also Jeff Kozlowski was there. I learned a lot about phase 1 treatment and some efficiency things. And of course, like I said, I followed you on social media. I don't know of anyone that consistently does as good a cases as you. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
And maybe more importantly, there's probably someone out there, the classic line is when someone's asked, who's the best guitar player in the world? A really great guitar player always says someone else. Or they'll say, probably somebody we don't know. You know, someone who's on their porch playing right now that we just don't know. So there's incredible clinicians out there that maybe we don't know, but you teach and you share, and we are all very grateful for you for doing that. So thank you. So thank you. Sorry for that long gushing intro. The topic tonight is the Artist Orthodontist. Show your book.
Yes.
Look at that, huh?
Right there.
And so Artist Orthodontist, it's the name of your 2018 book. You can get it on Amazon if you want. And you're described as such on your website. But what does it mean to be the Artist Orthodontist?
You know, it's interesting, Kyle. I went and took my family for a photograph about 12 years ago.
Okay.
And the photographer said to me, hi, and I introduced myself. And she said, I know who you are. And I said, well, I've never met you. And she said, you're known in the community as the Artist Orthodontist.
Whoa, okay.
And I was so taken back by that because I'd never considered myself an artist. I can't really, my handwriting's chicken scratch. And so that intrigued me, and I asked her a little bit more about that. But that one statement changed my career because I now saw myself differently. I saw myself as not just a tooth straightener, as an artist.
Wow.
So the Artist Orthodontist to me means creating beautiful pieces of art that you put your heart and soul into.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
I like that. I actually love art. I'm an art appreciator, okay? But I'm not great. My handwriting got to be worse than yours.
No,
Anyone that's on my team that's watching, it gets worse every day. My signature, I just feel like it's devolved into what is that, flowers for Algernon? Where it's just going I'm going in reverse or something. I don't know. But I think the point is I'm creative with music. And I think at orthodontics I'm pretty good. And so, but it does require fostering that artistic, creative side of oneself. That's great. I can't believe she just handed you that.
She changed my life.
Yeah, no one ever called me the digital orthodontist. I just made that up. It cheapens it a bit, when you come up with it yourself. All right, so it sounds, I guess, also when you talk about the artist orthodontist, to me it sets you up as different and is approaching it in a different way. Sort of maybe a cook who sets themselves out as, I'm a contemporary chef, or I'm doing this, I'm subverting, or I'm deconstructing, or that kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
And so it maybe is saying that the traditional way of judging what's a beautiful case, or a good case, or a great finish, you're sort of questioning that, and maybe you see it differently. Is that fair?
It's really true, and I think what happens for me, as I started looking at myself differently and realizing that there's a difference when you see yourself as something, or you see yourself as something more than just a tooth straightener, I think that you have almost a higher calling. And in our profession, you think back to when we were in school, and we would see our professors. They would show us these cases, and you'd go, okay, I see a good buccal segment, I see good occlusion, the teeth are lined up. It just didn't. It was nothing that spoke to me, and so for me, there's this speaking to me that in fact I call it an archaic, an old school perception of an orthodontic finish.
Yeah, sure.
And today there's just something different about what we do, and so that's what I've tried to pride myself in, is doing something different.
Yeah, for sure. I almost don't want to ask you this, but I'm going to. Maybe what are some things in these archaic finishes that you see consistently that you're like, that's painful?
So I think one of the biggest thing is the buccal segment.
Okay.
So canines to molars are dumped in.
Yeah.
That's old school.
Okay.
It's the old perception of the Roth prescription, and I'm not saying I think Roth was furthered our profession, helped us so much, but I think that look of the toed in, the canines toed in, the buccal segments in, it doesn't speak to our generation of people that are out there looking for something different. And we could take it even a step further. When you have an upright posterior segment, then you have this wide, broad smile, you have a dental substructure that supports the face. Mm. And we see in our practice all the time these ladies that are in their 40s and 50s, and they're coming in wanting more support in the mid-face. Mm-hmm. And that's where you get mid-face support, is in that wide, upright posterior segment.
Yeah, right.
So that's a big one. And I'll say one other one.
No, you're good.
Flat smile arc.
Oh, yeah.
That's classic in old perception of what a orthodontic finish would look like. So.
Yeah, you know, what's interesting about smile arc, others have spoken about it, but David Sarver said, David was supposed to be here, and I hate that David's not here, so God bless you, David.
Yeah.
But he said he found it in an old prosthodontics textbook from, I'm going to misquote it, but like 40s or something.
Yeah.
So of course, people had noted that, but we had sort of lost it. And you lose it for silly reasons, like I'm going to bond the brackets low on the posterior so we don't break them off. And then it's like, well, then you screwed up the way the case should look. That's actually, the attractiveness of the smile, when you take away that smile arc, it gets worse. I mean, obviously, it gets worse. And so by doing orthodontic treatment, you kind of made it worse a little bit, So
I think we're trying to do the opposite.
Yeah, well, I hope.
I mean, and so I think about dentists. Now, general dentists have it figured out. Right. They're looking at buccal corridors. They're looking at smile arc. And for me, practicing for 5 years, it was natural. That came natural to me.
Okay.
And when I saw Sarver's article in 1999, 2000, I'm like, okay, that speaks to me.
Sure. Yeah. Well, fortunately, as someone that was entering into residency around that time, that was a big deal. It was a big focus. I think I gave a lecture, you'd have to do your little PowerPoint presentation. Yeah. The beginnings of lecturing, I did one on smile arc. I chose it because I was excited about it or whatever. So, you had a crazy. You used to stay busy. I saw you lecturing to Russians late at night with your Monster energy drink or something.
I know.
And then you had last week or the week before 2 or 3 lectures, and I tried to tune into each of them, and it was great. I learned some good stuff. But your partner Trevor was on one of them with you. He joked that working with you is difficult because your bracket positioning is always perfect. I'm sure that's not true, but
thank you.
It's
right.
But certainly not everyone has that level of raw talent. Let's just be honest. We all went through dental school. We would all check each other's dentures and crowns and waxings and all that and be like, I'm better than that guy, or wow, she's really good, or whatever. Is everyone capable of being an artist orthodontist?
I'll tell you, Picasso said we're all born as artists. And we forget that as we get older. And it's just like you have artistry. And in fact, until Sonia Pollack said on stage one time and introduced me that Stuart is an artist because he has art in his name, I was like,
oh, there you go.
Oh, whoa, okay. But the thing about it is that we can all learn. And I wasn't a great bracket placer when I first started. Yeah. It takes relentless trying and redoing and looking at my cases and see where I put it there, and then if I change it, what happens. And so it's just everybody can be a master clinician at placing brackets. Yeah, I think so. I guess I will just say I think there's different ways to get to great finishes too, and it's subjective, beauty is subjective. Sure. And so I think what certainly is true of everyone is that you can strive to be more artistic in your finishes. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't come natural and your eye just doesn't kind of see it, some people, they don't know how to dress themselves, or they don't see why is that piece of art better than this piece of art? Well, maybe spend some time around people who do see those things and lean into your weaknesses. That's the theme of the night. That's the theme. Yeah. I wanted to say one thing about that. I think that's so good. I think all of us, I love the saying, comparison is the thief of joy. Right. We all compare ourselves all the time, but if we would just look to our classmates or our friends and say, hey, look at this case. I'll never forget, I did that with Tom Pitts. I would share cases with him, and I'd be like, will you please just critique me so I can get better? And I think if we could just get outside of ourselves and let other people share what they see, and that would help us as well.
Yeah, right on. That's great. All right, so I wanted to ask this. I added this in like the 11th hour, but
Yeah.
I see the cases you share online, and you know the classic criticism of people who speak clinically is, oh, you cherry picked your cases. So then you'll have the guy or gal that's like, I'm going to show 10 sequential cases, and they're probably cherry picked too. But you know, so you do tend to show the cases with the really nice, long, slightly oversized teeth. And when I see patients with those teeth, some people just have nice teeth. They look like you know just beautiful. You have beautiful enamel. I'll tell people that, like, that's kind of weird.
Right.
You know, small teeth. Low angle cases where the denture is completely retruded to the face. How do you make those beautiful? You're not showing those finishes, right?
No, I am. I try to show those finishes. In fact, my social media expert, she said to me, I'm going to show you, let's do this case next. And I'm like, oh, it's not my favorite. and she said, what are you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
You show them. So I think the important part, Kyle, when we start talking about small teeth and, you know, low angle cases and all that, they still have to have the same structure to the smile. We still have to have the same look to it. Everybody loves big teeth, let's face it.
Yeah.
But just because somebody has small teeth doesn't mean we don't try to get a wide upright posterior segment or smile arc. And so when we still follow those same keys, we still get beautiful results.
I'm sure you do. But those cases, like when you got tiny little teeth, like how do you get, here's another question, because you like to bond, you know, 5.5, 6 millimeters. He brought his own height gauges. I had my height gauges. He has his like 2 specific ones to eat ramen noodles, and I'm thankful that you did. I use height gauges, I love them.
Yes.
But you'll put some at like 6, 6.5. When you got a small tooth, you are limited in your ability to enact smile arc, no? I mean, how do you?
You are, here's the problem, when you start placing the brackets above 5.5, because usually if a tooth's 10 millimeters, you know, tall, and you go at FA point, the more higher you go, you get to a smaller part of the tooth. It's difficult to get that bracket in the right spot. So I try to go 5.5 to 6 on if I need to increase smile arc. But most of the times the problem is you start going up too high, you affect torque. Yeah. And you affect the way that the tooth is. Sometimes you have trouble with rotation. So try to really limit how high I go. Okay.
Do you ever laser before you start so that you can get it where you need it, or no?
I recommended to a patient one time to the parents.
Yeah.
Can't get the brackets in the right spot. We should just, you know, trim the gums before we put the brackets on. They didn't.
They didn't go for it?
Nope.
Oh, come on.
So.
Well, they lost out.
Yeah, that's right.
So, all right. So I've got I think only like 2 questions left, but I think we're going to spend probably about 10 minutes on these questions. So I want to attempt to distill like probably what you spend 3 or 4 hours talking about in like the next 10 minutes, so good luck. But maybe your process that you go through that's unique in how you create Frost smiles, beautiful smiles. Let's look at before you start treatment. Is there anything that you do that's special or that's unique in how you treatment plan?
I think the most important thing for me, and being that I was a clinical general dentist that did veneers and cosmetic cases, I think the most important thing is where is that upper incisor? Okay. I was taught in school, look at the lower incisor, treatment plan of the lower incisor, and it made no sense to me when I was, after being a general dentist, and I thought, why aren't we doing our planning around the upper incisor? So for me, it's all about where the upper incisor is in two spots. One, upon full smile, like authentic smile, where's the upper incisor? And number 2, at rest. So I'll have the patient say Emma and pause, and then I look how much incisor show we have. So that to me is like number 1. Where's that upper incisor? And then for me, it's all about really kind of having vision of what I want that smile to look like at the end. And if you don't have a set of parameters of what you're looking for in every case, then how do you design that case to finish out, or how do you know what it's going to look like? So I'll never forget when I was thinking, I was giving a lecture and I was trying to be different than Tom Pitts, and he's one of my mentors and a friend, and he would always say, begin with the end in mind. And I thought, I can't go copy him, but it's true, it's what we do. So I thought about vision, having vision for the finish. If anybody has vision, you're thinking about, okay, what's this going to look like at the end? So that's what's going through my mind as I'm sitting with patients. And I love this statement. I say to the new patients, I'll say, I can already see your beautiful smile.
That's great. In fairness, begin with the end in mind is Stephen Covey. That's from
Seven Habits. You're
So
right.
he stole that.
That's
so it's
right.
okay. So sorry, Dr.
Sorry,
Pitts.
Tom.
That was before you treat the patient. Some different
Yes.
things. Upper incisor, hear you loud and clear. I agree. While you treat the patient, is there anything special or unique that you do?
You know, I'm just, so I think there's little parameters along the way, or road signs, or that tell me if we're progressing. I'm always looking at smile arc. I'm looking at my bracket position. I always do a panel reposition visit. It's like a mid-course correction.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's big, and if you're not doing that, whether you take a panel or not, I still feel like we have to have a mid-course correction.
How many months into treatment do you typically do that at?
I try to get anywhere from 6 to 8 months into treatment
Right.
to do the mid-course correction.
Yeah. So you've gone through probably 2 wires or 3?
2 to 3 wires, that's
Yeah.
right. And
Okay.
and so that's what we do at that time.
That's cool. I do the same thing, and I found that I can't get it right if I don't do that.
I agree.
I also feel silly when I do a pan repo and I don't reposition anything. I mean, I'm proud, and the
No, you
assistants,
should be, like, patting yourself on
love
the
me.
back.
Well, it's probably a miss some, but it happens. Okay, I'm sure you have some where you don't.
Yeah.
You're like, that looks pretty good, or
Yeah.
maybe I'm just tired that day.
Yeah.
So, what about when you finish the case? Anything that's unique about that? And I know that you have some answers to this.
You bet. So I think that this is where a lot of orthodontists just, they take the braces off, they clean the glue off, and they go, thank you, we'll see you. And there's not a lot of thought into, okay, are there any incisors that have little chips out of them? Is there a canine that's too pointed? What does the architecture of the gum tissue look like?
Yeah.
Because you're sending that patient out with your stamp of what your beautiful finish is, and if the architecture of the tissue is not right, your case won't look beautiful. So for me, that's the last part of it, and I go, okay, I've done the hard tissue contouring and smoothing and polishing. Then it's like, okay, we set them up to come back for a gingivectomy.
Oh, so you do it on a different day?
Yeah.
Wow. How do you charge for that gingivectomy? Sorry, getting the weeds, but
No, it's okay. We don't charge.
no, you don't. You just do it. Wow.
We just do it. It's part of it's about your artistic
I get it.
smile at the end.
Well, how long does it take?
It depends. So we do it every lunch hour. We spend our lunch hour doing gingivectomies.
When do you eat lunch?
Protein bar, 10 minutes.
Gosh, Stuart, I'm finding these clinical masters are just crazy people.
Well,
Through your lunch?
here's the thing. The thing is, it takes, if you get quick at it, and
Yeah.
if you do one every day for the last 10 to 15 years,
Sure.
you're fast. So it's 15 minutes and you're done.
Yeah.
When Dr. Nichols started, and I love him, he's a master. I think he's getting better at them than I am. But when he first started, it was 45 minutes.
Yeah,
And
right.
so you'll get really quick at them
Okay.
and get them done.
I love the idea of doing the gingivoplasty or whatever you want to call it. And that is, I think, what makes your cases. I mean, it's all the stuff.
Sure.
It's everything. But
Sure.
man, that really sets it off because not everybody does that.
No.
And I'll see people share cases sometimes and I'm like, yeah, the gums are terrible, Or you got black triangles. Like, I mean, the segmental mechanics were brilliant, but there's like 2 big black triangles in the upper one and one and lower one, that kind of stuff. Or, you got the sharp canines, and I hate the way those look. I was telling you before the show, we were talking about how I do now enameloplasty on like every cusp.
Yeah.
I'm all the way back to the 5s because
love
I had a
it.
patient complain about the contour of her lower first or second premolars one time, and I looked at her like, what are you talking about? And then I actually looked and I was like, I kind of see what you mean. So like I'll go and I'll contour, and you start to like pay attention to those things, and you're like, now that needs to kind of, it's like a little bit too broad, and I even level off the lingual of the upper premolars to make it
I love this point. I hope
Yeah.
everybody's listening to this because this is so important. We are dentists. We use handpieces.
Yeah,
We should
sure.
be adjusting the occlusion on every patient. Get on those palatal cuss tips. So, well done.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Love
And
it.
I was never a dentist, just a dental student. So I think if I had been, I would have been doing it. So
Yeah.
my periodontist friend loves that I do that. He's like, oh, that's great. So
Yeah.
what's different about after you finish the case, your retention protocol and how that plays in?
Yeah, so we do upper 2 to 2 perm,
Yeah.
lower 3 to 3. Most of the time we're bonded with just at the cuspids. I like a rigid lower 3 to 3. So I do an 026 or 025 stainless steel,
Okay.
bonded mostly at the cuspids.
You make it in-house? Or
We make it in-house.
Yeah. Okay. And then upper is Flex Tech or what?
Flex Tech, some people would use the new Retanium, the
Right.
TMA.
Yeah.
It's pretty rigid.
Yeah.
I still like that bonded braid from Reliance.
Yeah.
And I just tell patients that
Yeah.
after a year, this is going to come off and we're not putting it back on.
Okay, so you just get them through a year?
That's it.
Just for vertical stability? Or Okay, right on.
And
Cool.
then we do 1 millimeter clear overlays.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nothing like crazy.
Nope.
I like that. I was hoping you wouldn't tell me I needed to use a wraparound holly or something. So I hate hollies.
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I know.
We share that in common. Great.
Absolutely.
So let's wrap up. You've got 5 keys to crafting beautiful finishes.
Yes.
I love systems. I love for the note takers out there, we're going to give you the 5 keys, and that you lecture on these things, but it's good to get it in here, to create Frost smiles. One thing also I just want to say that I appreciate about you, and I think the people that are all here, because I have the same mindset, is I don't care who you speak for. I don't care like what bracket you use. I think that's great. It's part of your story.
Sure.
But I like that you apply all these to all the different things. So it's not just like you have to be a PSL guy, you have to be a Damon guy, you have to use the Ultima. Like it could be that you use Twin, right?
That's right.
Okay. Now, if you're using speed brackets, get out of here.
The Viazzi?
It's a joke.
No.
It's totally joking. If you use speed, more power to you. Yeah. I'm just kidding. So I think that's helpful because for an audience, I think we're tired of like everything only having to be this one way. And I think Facebook groups have changed that in some ways. That now we're aware of all our different groups and we see the commonalities, and I think that's great. So thank you. And this will work if you use Twin or whatever.
That's right.
All right. So what are your 5 keys? And let's talk through each one. We got a few minutes left.
So I think it's important that everybody understand that the 5 keys really have to do with what your end result needs to be. So we have vision in the beginning of what it needs to look like at the end. So then there's 5 steps that are so important in achieving those smiles. And I want you to know, I don't think that I'm got the corner of the market because my book's called The Artist Orthodontist, or I call my smiles Frost smiles. I think everybody should brand their smiles.
Dr. Kyle smile.
Right? I think it's so.
Sounds good,
It sounds a little weird.
It's a little weird, yeah.
How about Di Pascali? I don't know.
Di Pascali smile? I don't know. We'll work on it. Can't be fabulous smile. But go ahead.
I think it should be. So the really important is that we understand there's 5 keys. Number 1, the first key is really paying attention to the mid face. Okay. Treatment plan your case so that you enhance the mid face, especially the upper lip. Everybody wants an upper lip. Even the females, when they're in their 40s and 50s, they want an upper lip. So enhance the case for plan the case for the upper lip. Okay. That's so important. Number 2 is the upper incisor position. Make sure the upper incisor is on the midline. This is very basic, and we're showing maybe 1 to 2 millimeters of the incisor when we're finished. Okay. So vertically, we want to show 1 to 2 millimeters of gum tissue. I should say that better. Gum tissue.
No, that's good.
And so that's number 2. And we want to make sure the incisor is in the right position, forward to back, all 3 planes of space. And then number 3 is buccal arch width. That's the upright posterior segment. And so many people through the years were like, you Damon guys, you're blowing out segment. No, you were not. What we were doing is uprighting the posterior segment. And that's so important. So, and more important than smile arc, I think, is the buccal segment. So number 3 is the buccal segment.
Let's camp on that if you don't mind.
No.
Do you use expanders or no?
We use expanders in our practice, RPEs, for airway problems.
Okay,
if
but
a kid
not
is snoring,
typically.
But we don't really need them unless there's an airway problem.
Okay, so let's say to achieve upright buccal segments, if I'm a Twin user, I'm a PSL user, I'm a whatever user, a liner user, that's a whole other topic we can get into. Maybe we will. They're telling me to stretch it, so we may just keep talking.
Good.
You know? Yeah,
good.
we got more time.
I can talk all night.
You tell me when I need to shut up. Okay?
Yeah.
You just gave me the 1 finger. I don't know what that means. So I'm just going to keep
You're
going.
number 1.
Yeah, I'm number 1. Thank you, Russ. That's so sweet of you. What was I saying? Buccal segment.
Yes.
Do you always bond upper 7 to 7? Do you always get into stainless steel? Like, what are the ways that help you achieve that?
This is great. This is so good. I always bond 7 to 7.
Okay.
If the 7s aren't in when I start, I want to make sure they're in with 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
So that I don't have to drop back in wires and pick them up. So I bond 7 to 7. Number 2, if we have a crossbite, we just put a crossbite button, a button on the palatal of the upper. I like Kaplan hooks.
Yeah.
And so I'll put them on the 5, 6, and 7, and we'll wear crossbite elastic from day 1. So we disarticulate crossbite elastics. And
you disarticulate typically what, mesobuccal or mesolingual cusp?
This is so good. We could talk about an hour on just this. So I have a TMJ background. I did a year of fellowship in TMJ before I did my ortho.
Nice.
And I made splints for a long time. And people do not do well on bite turbos that are on a cuss tip, or bite turbos on like a 4. People, when you put a bite turbo on, you want a flat, plain bite turbo.
Okay.
Because it's like a TMJ splint. You want them to be able to move around. You don't want them to get locked in. That'll cause muscle tenderness and soreness.
Okay.
So for me, I'll do on lower 6s a flat occlusal bite turbo. And that way they can move side to side and it just articulates. But if you've got a lopsided bite turbo, it might lock into place.
Sure.
So lower 6 is my go-to,
Okay.
especially for cross bites. And then at the end of treatment or the last 4 to 6 months, I like to go into stainless steel wires.
Yeah.
And if we still need some uprighting of the posterior segment, then I just bump that stainless steel wire out.
Okay.
And that
You
will
get
upright.
sutural expansion with just wires and elastics or no?
I don't think that we get sutural expansion from just elastics and wires.
Okay.
But what we do get, if we're using a passive, in my opinion, a posterior passive segment, means 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s have a tube. We have a better bone response when we use a stainless steel to widen and broaden.
Okay.
So we don't see roots. I don't see molar roots as I've widened a stainless steel. I don't see, upper 4s and 5s roots coming through.
Yeah.
So we have a different bone response.
Cool.
Again, we could go into all kinds of stuff.
We're
there,
not
but
going to go down
good.
that road.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can fight that out with
Yeah.
Stuart later.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got 2 more things.
Yes.
We've talked facial balance and beauty with emphasis on the upper lip and mid-face.
Yes.
Great. Correct position of the upper incisors. Keep coming back to this upper incisor thing. What are those? And then buccal arch width. Love that. Upright posterior segment. What are
Yes.
numbers 4 and 5? And then
Number
we'll
4, smile arc. So
Yeah.
if we're going to go through all those others, number 4, smile arc, we want to make sure the upper incisors are longer than the canine.
Yeah. Sure.
And it depends on how much you need. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Okay. And then number 5, which is the one that most orthodontists just skip and they get a little bit lazy on, I get it, is what does the hard tissue look like?
Yeah.
Are we going to contour the hard tissue? And then the last one, which requires an extra appointment, is the gingival architecture.
Yeah.
And those are the 5 keys.
Yeah. That was amazing. Did you enjoy that, Russ? He's not even an orthodontist.
I need to give him this book though. I want you to
Oh,
know.
thank you.
I wrote a little something in here,
Oh, sweet.
and it basically says,
Your handwriting is bad.
"No, it's bad."
Look at that.
But
Zoom that in. I'm
thank
sorry.
you. Yeah,
Thank you.
zoom on that. But thank you, and I
Yeah,
want to ask
sure.
you a quick question.
Oh, okay.
How many toilets do you have in this place?
How many toilets do I have? That's a very personal question.
I know.
I think I have 10 toilets and a urinal.
And I want to say this: they're not just.
Sounds like a Hugh Grant movie.
I want to say this: thank you for the soft closed seats. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. And
You just let it go,
just
right?
let it go.
Exactly.
But what a pleasure to be here. You are the man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. This is yours.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
Someday we're going to go to Cancun together. I just feel it.
Hey.
I know it's your spot. Yeah.
my spot.
All right, Stuart, that was amazing. Thank you for coming all this way to share. I hope everyone really enjoyed that. We are not done yet, so you do not dare close your laptop down, because I promise you do not want to miss a single second of our final, right?
Oh, whoa.
Okay.
I saw the preview.
You don't want to miss it, okay? So we're going to be awarding our best orthodontist of the night with that extremely beautiful and heavy wrestling belt. We also have one final surprise. Before we get to that, we do have one quick commercial break from our sponsor 3M and a short video on branding from Neon Canvas. Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
A smile is the universal language of joy, though no two are alike. A healthy, beautiful smile unlocks confidence and potential. You know the secret to creating a beautiful, healthy smile is part art and part science. Your patients trust you to architect a smile that places equal importance on lifelong oral health and aesthetics. It takes experience to recognize that every patient is unique, and treatment plans should be too. Custom aesthetic solutions showcase your expertise and enable outcomes your patients will love. 3M Clarity Aesthetic Orthodontic Solutions offer orthodontists and patients choice. Choice means customized, flexible treatment plans for every case, from simple to complex. Happy, satisfied patients mean growing practices. When you choose Clarity, you can expect customer-first service and a team of people who are as passionate about your personal, professional, and clinical success as you are. When you choose Clarity, you choose clinically effective, aesthetically pleasing solutions backed by 3M science and a commitment to continuous innovation. When you choose Clarity, you choose to practice aesthetically without compromise. Practice with Clarity.
It's been a truly incredible night, and we still got 5 hours to go to tomorrow. I can't believe it.
All right, so before we go tonight, and thank you for tuning in, as we mentioned earlier, we have this mystery panel of orthodontists and consultants from all over the country. They've been tuning in tonight, and we've been texting with them, and they've submitted their votes for the best orthodontist of the night. Drum roll.
I got this.
Well, we'll see.
Well, hey, as you guys may know, Memphis,
We are.
Tennessee was the hub of pro wrestling back in the 1970s. It's still a huge city for the WWE today. So in that spirit, we've got this incredible, look at this thing, look at this wrestling belt. We've got this wrestling belt, and we're going to award it to the best orthodontist of the night. I can tell.
It will be one of you.
I can tell Feldman wants to win this thing.
All right, so we have our 3 finalists here with us for Best Orthodontist. Next to me, these were the 3 who received the most votes, so congratulations. You obviously did something well.
Nice job.
So
Round of
it's
applause.
an honor just to be nominated. But we have Dr. Chris Feldman, and in no particular order, Dr. Chris Feldman, Dr. Nicole Wax, Dr. Jeff Kozlowski. Hopefully you know who they are at this point. How are you guys feeling? Feeling a little nervous?
I feel good.
I feel we got this.
I
think I earned this. So
You got
it's pretty
some
obvious.
Okay,
I
Chris
think
is
he
like
thinks he's winning it.
really excited about this, and he has a wrestling shirt on. And Chris, I mean, okay.
Okay, so let's get to it. In third place, Dr. Jeff Kozlowski. Jeff, hey, you did a heck of a job tonight.
Good job.
Really enjoyed front porch sitting there with you. You got a great job. Jeff came in third.
It's my part.
Kyle, what did
Oh
you-
yeah, so,
he
so
came in second.
let's
It's
go
fine.
ahead and announce. We'll just announce first place. You can touch the belt, Jeff. Yep, you get a little. Yeah, just touch the belt. So we're gonna announce our first place winner, Chris.
the
Chill out,
top.
dude. They're gonna get this incredible wrestling belt. It's gonna make your bag that you fly back with too heavy, so you're gonna have to pay extra because it is that heavy. You could probably work out with this thing. You could get ripped with this thing. But our winner, based on votes from our mystery panel of orthodontists and orthodontic consultants, is Dr. Nicole Wax.
Yes.
No way.
There you go.
Congratulations.
No. That's, dude, you know that's BS.
What are you doing?
Did you rig this? I thought we were friends.
Chris.
Did you rig this?
Chris.
There's no way. I saw her segments. I saw it.
Chris.
We all saw it.
She was great.
Chris,
What are you doing,
is-
dude?
She was
Chris.
okay. I mean, come on.
Chris.
Dude,
Chris,
you've been
Nicole-
acting kind of shady for a little while. Calm down.
Nicole was fine.
You've been acting shady
Listen,
for a little while.
I've
Chris.
been drinking too much.
Oh,
Chris.
no. You, me? Oh, come on, dude.
Chris.
I thought we were friends, man, and you're gonna rig this so I lose. You're trying to embarrass
Chris,
me.
calm down.
What's up with that?
What's
Calm
the
down,
next
Chris.
segment?
It's okay.
What's
Yeah.
up with that? What's up with
I
that?
think we're. I mean,
Why
we're.
are you acting like a punk, dude?
Punk.
You're ruining the
I ain't
show.
no punk.
We
You
got
know
the
me
Chris.
better than that.
Chris, hey.
I thought I knew you better than that, and you're acting like an idiot, man. You're acting like the Saints in the playoffs right now.
Oh, whoa. Did you
Shut
start
the-
that? Dude, it's
I
too
did
soon.
go there.
It's too
You
soon.
need to retire like Drew Brees, boy. What are you doing, man? Seriously. Are you
We can
serious?
do this.
In my house, you're gonna do this?
You want the smoke?
Wait.
You're not ready for the smoke.
Hey,
You're
hold
not
on.
ready
I want all
for
this
Stop.
stuff.
Hold on. What?
Come on, man. Seriously?
Dude, serious?
Hold
What?
on. What?
Dude, come on now.
No. Dude, that's all you got?
Yeah, I got
That's
one
all you
more.
got? Oh,
Come on, dude.
come on, bring it. Come on, baby. It ain't nothing, man.
All right.
Let's go. Oh, I had to hit you with that stomach. Oh, give me that belt. That's my belt.
Go down. Somebody call 911 quick.
Whoa. Hold on a second. Wait a second. Whoa.
Kyle.
Wait, Kyle's at. Hold on. Wait a second. Kyle?
Are you really?
Kyle, hey, call 911. Call 911. Get the doc. Hey, 911! Hey. Chris, hey, somebody get Chris. Hey. Kyle, you all right? Kyle.
You okay?
Kyle's out, y'all. Kyle's out. I mean, I don't, this is, guys, Hey, at this point, I don't know what's going on. Chris, golly. What? Kyle's getting in an ambulance. Kyle. All right, y'all, look, we're obviously concerned about Kyle. He's headed to the hospital. I'm going to go check on him. But, I mean, what a night it's been. This has been an incredible night. Obviously, we're going to have all the speakers back tomorrow. You're going to have to be back. We want to thank our exclusive meeting sponsor, 3M. Guys, 3M had nothing to do with this. They had nothing to do with Chris putting a stone cold stunner on Kyle or Nicole hitting Chris with a chair. I mean, 3M is an amazing company. Please call or text your rep. Check out their new products. They're incredible. You guys should be getting messages about your CE in the chat. You should have gotten an email also. You can go to tdolive.com to the sponsor page and make sure that you've got your CE taken care of. So make sure you're getting the CE taken care of. Go to in there, get the sponsor page to the sponsor page. So guys, I mean, obviously, we've got a mess here. We got to clean this up. We're going to start back here tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. The room's going to open at 8:50, so come early. You're not going to want to miss the kickoff. I don't know if Kyle's going to be here or not, but we're definitely going to make the most of it. See you tomorrow.